Alright guys, so we're back with another gameplay video. Today we're doing something a little bit different. This is a game that I've already played, and I'm going to commentate through it, or commentate over it, instead of it being just a raw reaction. I wasn't actually recording at this time because I was in the middle of sort of back and forth making dinner because I'm really close to the kitchen at the moment. So we matched against, as you can see, a Gohan. He was very, very, very high ranked God tier. So I thought that this would be a good game that we could go back through, talk about like sort of how I went, and just something different for like trying for a different way of making gameplay videos. Obviously the plan here is to, as we can see, reveal the opponent's hand, so you guys can sort of see what he was up to. It does actually go a little bit fast, which, like, okay, it's good for watching things back, but in terms of like trying to talk things through, it does get a bit difficult. So we're on Cooler, as you can see. We've been loving Cooler, especially into these green matchups. As my opponent here opts to combo out of the crit. I've always been saying in the Twitch chat, don't ever be scared to take crit. But I feel like at the moment, green, staying at high life can be maybe a little bit of a problem, because the longer green lives, the more energy they have to play out, obviously, the Broly and the double strike androids, and just really sort of like, you know, get the win. But obviously we're playing Cooler. Cooler's a lot more low to the ground. Just swarm the board. As you can see, we're going to be absolutely ready to swarm the board. We opted not to swing with the Zarbon because he would have been able to swing into, obviously, and then would have forced my resources to keep the Zarbon alive. Whereas next turn we're well set to go into the Ginyu combo as we draw another Ginyu, and we're well on track to self-awaken. So this is exactly what you want to be seeing with Cooler. I don't know, would you guys have got the swing in with Zarbon and protected it from the lead swing? Because he obviously wouldn't be swinging to my leader, and that's one more life that I would have had to have taken. But I mean, that wasn't going to be a problem because we obviously had the Ginyu and the Nezi that were going to take lives. As you can see, we've absolutely swarmed the board now, and this is what you want to see in Cooler, especially into like Green Gohan and androids, as they're not 25k base. You can really just spam them with your 20k beaters. As you can see, my opponent's hand here, he hasn't got a Broly, doesn't have a lot of 10k either. He's got a Vegeta and a Gohan. Obviously the Vegetas will be coming down next turn on curve, and we'll be able to clear up some bodies, as he does opt to go down to 6 there. So just let me know if you guys enjoyed this kind of content. This isn't, I don't want to like make this content exclusively. I want to keep making like all different kinds of gameplays, but this one where we can dissect sort of what went on, we can see your opponent's hand. Let me know if you guys enjoy this kind of content. It's something that I might look to do a few more of. Obviously it's going a little bit fast, so it's a bit hard to sort of talk about everything going on, whereas not in a normal gameplay I can sort of just chat through. As leaving him at 5 life here was really key, because if he wanted to respond to the board, he had to use a resource from here. As you see, he comboed the Self. But we just had the Sorbet there that was doing nothing, so it was an easy combo off to keep bodies on the board. In this, I find you just want to make sure you keep bodies on the board. Like, we know Vegeta is going to KO one card, so it's not going to hurt to combo another card to the board. He still will only be a 20k leader, so another 20k swing for essentially free, just by losing a card in hand, I think is really key. And, it's, you know, yeah, we've only got 6 cards in hand, that's not too bad, but we've still got 3 20k attackers. If we not have comboed out of that, we would have only had 2 20k attackers. So an extra swing for 1 less card in hand when we're on the offensive, I think, is the way to go. As we are able to absolutely pop off again, we get to go down into the Ginyu, and this is kind of, I don't know, maybe I rush to do this, but I like to try and essentially get all my swings out with my board and my leader first, basically because it just, for me, it's like they might think he might not have something to play, so maybe I am a bit safer to take, maybe just sort of make them use their resources a little bit recklessly. Whereas if you've played everything out like I have, your opponent knows that there's definitely 2 more swings coming, and it just means that he knows he's going to have to defend them at some point. So I don't know. What do you guys like try to do? Do you always get your swings out of the way first before you play cards? Do you think that is the better way to help you? Looking back at it now, I feel like maybe I should have just got all the swings and then played the Raccoon. And as you will see, we will play out the Berta, as we are getting a lot of cards out of his hand. So you see that, like, he's gotten rid of the ramp there. He's not going to get his next turn ramp at this stage. As we do try and kill the Vegeta so it doesn't kill one of our cards on board. As we play out the Berta now, we're just trying to clean it up. But at this point now he's used a super combo, so we're happy that he's used a super combo to keep it. Obviously there's not much in his hand. You're at this point I'm probably thinking maybe there is a Broly or something like that. But we can see that he hasn't got too much. He swung into a battle card, and again, just keeping the 20k body on board. Yes, we use a 10k for it, but I feel like that was maybe the right play to do, in terms of keeping another body on the board. Like, obviously, I don't want to use the super combo to keep it alive, but again, if he wants to kill something with Vegeta, he's got a neg 1 in hand. As double strike droids come down, this is like a good little stabilizer for him, and then he swings in, so he gets the board cleared up. So if we didn't use that Frieza to combo, we would have only had one attacker left. So we're still going to have the 2 attackers. We can see we've got the golden Frieza to lock down, and here is, like, I think this card is really, like, it's good in Cooler, but I don't know if I'm opposed to it yet or not, where we can just draw two new cards. Obviously it's only +1 in hand. I mean, if you use that and draw into 2 10Ks, in this case, it would have been really helpful. As he does go down to 2, so he's in double strike range now. We obviously draw the 2 cards. Bad draw in reality, because we only drew 1 5k, we drew 1 dead card. We were gonna have to get rid of a card anyway, but drawing into another 10k probably could have won this for us then and there. I believe at this point I forgot about the leader skill to pop an energy for 15k, which was a shame, because if that was the case, I probably would have just left the 2 super combos up for the crackback. At this point I thought I was probably maybe in a bit of trouble. Obviously, you'll see he's going to be able to clear our board here. We've got nothing in hand to defend ourselves. Plays down the androids here. And unfortunate for him that he draws it and he has to discard. Very, very unlucky there for my opponent. That probably would have, like, helped a lot. But here he's able to completely clear the board, just because it was a little misplay on my part of forgetting about the leaders activate battle. I definitely wouldn't have dumped hand if I remembered that. Just for the sake of it, would have been able to protect the Frieza, which would have been able to help us close out in the following turn. As he plays down the Trunks, it's very interesting that someone of, like, this level is running the Trunks as we draw into the Cooler. So that's a very good draw. We can rest the Trunks and just get a swing off. As he pretty much has to take it there. He's got his leader ability and his other ability, but we draw into a card. We can restand the Cooler now. At this point, you're probably thinking maybe we are nearly set here. But again, the leader activate battle sort of comes in clutch here. And at this point, I thought maybe, like, we KO the 18 here, which actually turns out to be really good. Normally, like, that's obviously the thing to do, because you're going to KO it regardless. You weren't going to rest any other cards. If there was a card there that wasn't rested for combo, I probably would have rested that for some reason. As I was, like, in the middle of doing dinner, so I probably was a little bit distracted at the time. But I believe my opponent has gotten this wrong here. I think he should have swung with the double strike androids first. And that's because it would have given him, it would have put me at 2 life. Whereas now he's dealt 1 damage to me. I can restand my Cooler. Obviously I didn't know that he didn't have anything in hand to really kill me with. But he was able to rest and stop a double strike and a single strike swing. Whereas if he had a swung with the double strike, I would have already been at 2. And then if he had a swung with, say, his one of his battle cards, I would have definitely gone down to 1. So I don't know, maybe he might have thought a different way, just straight purely because he had nothing in hand. But here you see, like, we've ripped the Ginyu, we've drawn the 2-cost cooler, and then we've drawn into the sorbet. So just a really nice little flow here as we can take a life, take ourselves down to 1, which would have actually, in theory, if my opponent had sequenced it the way I was just talking about, would have stopped me from doing this. But I mean, I suppose I probably would have already had the card anyway. So he's able to block it there. We can see he can only get out of 2 more swings. We play the sorbet. We draw into a Ginyu, which is just absolutely clutch at this stage of the game because we've got 2 Freezers clan on board. 2 Freezers army on board, so we do get the untap. We can swing another 20k at my opponent. We know we can play out the Zarbon, and we know we've got our leader swing to recover. So at this point, we feel like we're pretty home. Swinging a bigger number isn't going to help because obviously he does have the activate like the 15ks. So obviously we don't add a life here because we would lose. We swing, my opponent can't get out anymore, but we also were able to pitch 1 card from hand to restand the freezer, which would have essentially, if that attack didn't get through, then we would have been safe to get it through. So there you can see, guys, we got the win. We got a bit lucky on the roll there. We drew really good right at the end, just to help us close out game. But I thought after I passed after the cool swing that I was gone. But unfortunately, I think I played that really well to get out of that. I think maybe it was a little misstep from my opponent that probably could have been a different situation. But there we go, guys. We see we got a win against a really high god rank. And let me know in the comments, guys, if you liked this kind of video. Obviously, it probably went a little bit faster than I thought it was going to, so I wasn't able to talk as in-depth or talk about. I wanted to talk about a few like other things throughout the gameplay. Maybe I just focus on a topic or something every now and then. But I want to try and give a couple of gameplays like this a crack. So I would really appreciate you guys giving your honest thoughts for a bit of feedback on this, just to see if maybe this is something that you guys might enjoy rather than just the live reaction gameplay that I always do. So yeah, let me know in the comments, guys. Also, I want to shout out to the Twitch stream. We've been streaming a fair bit over on Twitch. Link is in the description, and it has been going off. I've been having a lot of fun on stream. The most fun I've had on stream in a very long time, coming from other games. And I don't know, I just enjoy it. With raids, subs, everything, man. I've been absolutely loving it. We are always giving away codes. Like, we give away at least 2 to 3 codes per stream, sometimes even more. Normally if we get a raid, we'll drop a code or a sub, something like that. So if you guys do want to see me live, the link to the Twitch is in the description. We do give away codes. I will just make that clear because some people that are free to play, a few people have come to me and said, look, this is like this makes my day kind of thing, and that sort of fills me with a bit of joy to know that like I can give to the community as well. Obviously, like I'd love to be able to give away more, but I can't just, if I give away them all now, then I've got none to give away later. But appreciate you guys tuning in on the video. If you haven't, please be sure to like and subscribe, and we'll catch you all in another video soon.